"Jonathan tried not to interfere with INEC under me," Jega. Jega says Jonathan should be praised for trying to be fair and for conceding defeat to President Buhari. The professor also revealed that the only time the Jonathan administration tried to meddle in the INEC business was with the argument against card readers. He said before he took over chairmanship of INEC, politicians had infiltrated the commission. Former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Jega has said that former President Goodluck Jonathan did not make any open attempt to interfere with the work of the commission. The cable quoted Jega as saying in an interview with Jamie Hitchen, a policy researcher at Africa Research Institute, that the commission was at its lowest quality when he got to the helm. The administration of Goodluck Jonathan, president from 2010 to 2015, never gave any reason to suspect that there was a deliberate and willful attempt to emasculate the funding of INEC, he said. For this they should be applauded. No situation arose where we had to go cap in hand to the executive looking for funding, and I must add that when supplementary funding was needed it was nearly always forthcoming. For most of the time during our tenure, President Jonathan tried not to personally interfere with the Commission's work. Only in the run-up to the 2015 election did his government and ruling political party seek to interfere with the decision of INEC to use electronic card readers. We were able to remind them that they had supported the idea and funded it. Overall, I think that President Jonathan meant well for democracy in our country, a view strengthened by the gracious way he conceded electoral defeat in 2015. Speaking further on the conduct of the two general elections, 2011 and 2015, by INEC under him, he said, "When I was appointed to chair INEC in July 2010, I joined an organization that was perceived to be fraudulent and corrupt. It was also inefficient in executing its mandate. At the same time I was entering a moving vehicle, with no time to reflect and reform effectively. An unorthodox methodology was needed. I was able to bring in a team of INEC outsiders, paid for by the United Nations Development Program. These were people I could trust and who, independent of INEC's bureaucracy, could help map a blueprint for institutional reform. For example, Professor Ochiyakawu Ibnu became my chief technical advisor, Professor M.J. Kuna my special assistant, and Dr. Magaji Mahmood my chief of staff. One of the first issues that had to be addressed was the register of voters. There was a lot of data missing for people who were registered, and there was clear evidence of fictitious names. We had names of trees, of rivers, and international figures like Mike Tyson and Queen Elizabeth II. There was a debate between those who thought the register could be cleaned up and those who thought it should be jettisoned and replaced. Internal discussions with key personnel in the technical departments revealed the scale of the problem. A complete overhaul was needed, but the general election was scheduled for January 2011, just 7 months away. To compile a new register of voters, INEC needed a constitutional amendment to shift the election date and significant resources to carry out a good, credible registration. Engagement with the government was very positive. The constitutional amendment was quickly secured and elections were pushed back to April 2011. Nage.com had reported that Jonathan said he was not comfortable with how the 2015 election was handled by Professor. In an advance copy of Against the Run of Play, a book written by journalist Segun Adeniyi recounting how a sitting president lost an election in Nigeria, Jonathan said Jega disappointed him.